standout on day two, the flexing tactical muscle by the likes of Emirates Team New Zealand and Rossa, Prada, Pirelli in the start box. Both teams demonstrating dominance where it matters most, crushing the spirit of the opposition. And there was no better example of that than the chase boat of American Magic. But that said, Patriot got back in the race and didn't allow the Italians a runaway win. If you're ramping up the Challenger Selection Series, the Challenger of record, INEOS Britannia, must have some concerns. They're 0-2, but have 2 more races today, find a remedy. And for the French, after a retirement yesterday, they just want to race and display the undeniable speed of their AC75. Points-wise, Emirates Team New Zealand are currently in pole position with a spotless record, but hard on the heels, Rossa and Patriot. The Swiss are running on a 50% record, while winless INEOS Britannia and Orient Express Racing. Double race duty today for INEOS Britannia and Alinghi Red Bull Racing. They're both out of the start box for today. Just the one race apiece for the remainder of the AC75 fleet. Will we see a little desperation today for those teams wanting to indicate they are game ready? And they will be game ready as they dock out. A busy day for Alinghi Red Bull Racing. They've got 2 races, and then American Magic, they will want to get that pre-start down to a T. Business as usual for the defender, Emirates Team New Zealand. No fanfare, just getting on the boat, getting down to business. And then you've got Orient Express Racing. Let's just hope we can see them actually race today out on the mid. And Rossa, Prada, Pirelli, they're in a good space. They're all about improving. And then the Challenger of record. Let's see what we get today. The crowds continue to be out here in Barcelona. They are just coming their droves, looking on their devices, whatever, big, small, or different, around the world. And they have their fans for each different team as well. It's a glorious day, hot conditions, but I wonder what the conditions are like out on the course, Shirley Robertson.
Stephen, the stage is set with one of the most dramatic backdrops Cup fans could hope for. The racetrack right off the beach in the beating heart of this iconic city. So far, Barcelona is delivering stellar conditions. A glorious 12 to 14 knots from the south is predicted with a gentle seaweed. An opportunity perhaps for the teams and for us to see what they've got. Well, for the start, it is a battle of control and skill with the boundaries pushing the boats back together, forcing multiple manoeuvres both upwind and downwind, pushing the sailors to the limit. It will be 3 laps with a gate at either end. Yachts can go around either mark as long as they pass through the gate. And the finish line comes quickly after the blistering final downwind leg. Right now the wind is 9 to 11 knots, and more than enough for our space age AC75s to really dip off.
Let's go racing, race 9, INEOS Britannia, Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
Frustrated by a lack of pace and so far a lack of wins, Ben Ainsleigh's British outfit will be fired up to deliver. Ben lines up today with his 18. Finding stride, offside driver, Olympic gold medalist Dylan Fletcher, back on speed are trimmers McMillan and Bond, and Clinton and ready to go into this match are an impressive power lineup. Leask, Carr, Cornish, a unit led by rowing Olympic gold medalist Matt Gold.
Back to the big league of the America's Cup here in AC37. Will Alinghi Red Bull Racing to be able to ring the bell in today's race against the British? Skilled driving team of both Arno Saraphagas on starboard side of the yacht and Maxime Bachelon on port side will guide the boat around the racetrack. With Nicola Rullar and Brian Metro in the foil trimming kitchen, will they have the ingredients it takes to bake the cake of success today? With an epic cyclone team powering the pumps on board, could they be the dark horse of this America's Cup here on the waters of Barcelona?
Yes, the Catalan capital doing us a proud. Ben Ainsleigh, Dylan Fletcher left and right at the top, at the bottom, Arno Saraphagas and Maxime Bachelon. Those are the men sharing their AC75's potential victory in race number 9 of the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta here in Barcelona. Glorious conditions as always, the temperatures sitting in the high 30s.
Well, so
This is the race committee. The wind sampling period is complete and this race will start on schedule.
We saw yesterday, Stephen, the importance of nailing that pre-start, and there'll be much work on the simulator overnight and this morning, really working out a plan to get this right.
2 minutes and 10 seconds, GBR coming in, Stephen McMahon, double Olympic gold medalist, Shirley Robertson, 3-time America's Cup winner, Dylan Ashby, and on the water, Peter Lester at Chase Zero. This is hydrogen boat.
Racing now, Hartley. They're back ahead of it. It's a main lads. All the way.
Let's see if their time and distance is on point today. 7 seconds to go for INEOS Britannia into the start box.
Stay with it. Rotation enter. Around up.
Fantastic entry by INEOS Britannia there, on time, on speed.
Quarter now.
Textbook entry there.
Backing up. Back to load.
And Alinghi racing pretty much good on time, but distance as well. Here we go.
Staying on. Yeah, you will. Staying on.
Not much room to the right-hand side. You're really forced to start manoeuvring probably earlier than you would have liked.
Yeah, really nice conditions here. INEOS Britannia deciding to go into a circle and then basically push Alinghi Red Bull Racing down to the bottom end of the course. Still wide open here. Both teams able to get it off the line early. Well, on time, I say, just wanting the race.
2, 1, go. What do you think here, Ben? I think follow the down and then come on the hammer. Yeah. Okay, rotation here. And I will. Okay, working up now. In flat to learn. All the way back.
28, 30, 25.
Feeling 55, yeah. Hang on. Looking for looking to jump here.
Yeah, this is really the critical part of the pre-start here.
45. Go forward down. Let's go. Forward moving. My wheel. Why? Your wheel. Mate. Wobbling. Slow down. Hey, mate.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing needing to pass on here as quickly as they can.
My wheel. 13 to the pin. 50 on the line. 17. 18.
Beautifully executed, but it's the position just underneath.
Go hard. Go hard.
INEOS Britannia here will be looking to close the gauge as much as they possibly can up windward and try and lock Alinghi out there, but I think both boats looking at the time on the distance from here.
Slightly early, a little bit of pace to lose.
Killing 3 now. You in there. Killing 2. Killing 2 or 3.
Both boats should get off fairly even here, surely.
10 seconds to go to start of race 9. INEOS Britannia, Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Close to the line, they look like they're going to get it. Hang on, and we are a go.
Okay, very slightly in the right. Can get past into second. In seconds, they might find for that. No, we're good here. Just saying normal numbers, but never. Okay, so what we're doing here.
If Alinghi can really hold this position, they're in good shape. We've seen the teams wanting to protect that right side. They look like they're slowly being sucked in though, Glenn.
Yeah, really, really close race here. They just have to hold Alinghi Red Bull Racing. They can hold all the way to the boundary. They will put the bridge on the back foot here.
10 to boundary. Right, goes. Okay, 2, 1, pull down. 2, 1, stay.
Both boats should attack simultaneously here.
Mode here. 27. Okay, quite strong. Take some connect.
Alinghi holding up high, really trying to hit hard for the British team.
They will practice this mode many, many times. The British really have to survive up to wood here. It'll be a real drag race. It'll be the really first time these two teams have been in such close quarters, so we'll get a real indication of how close the boats are being sailed here.
25 on tempo. 24. That's top of 23. Board down.
Alinghi really slowing them up here. INEOS deciding to tack away there before they come off the foils. Alinghi will now accelerate, and we have got an absolute cracking race on our hands.
On to the water, chase 0. Cracking start, Pete.
Yeah, good start and very even off the line. And Alinghi did a good job getting INEOS all the way across to this left-hand side. Then after the tack, Alinghi just put the squeeze on and both boats were decelerating. Ben Ainsley decided to tack away. Alinghi extended. The next cross will be crucial.
At that tack, they were so down speed, both boats. 24 knots they were doing. I mean, how hard is that to start to tack at those low speeds?
Yeah, really on edge there. The British failing early before they got themselves off the foils, so really smart move there by INEOS Britannia to just recognise the situation. Alinghi putting them in a squeeze, and we've got an absolute great race on our hands coming here.
Okay, ice on numbers. Did you take tag? Plan hit. Potential small duck for us. Cover now. Okay, we'll be ducking here, my wheel. Yeah. Not much of a duck, that's angle. On the way back. Okay. Watch it go, turn up. Yeah, coming up. Okay. No trap. Okay, your wheel. All the way. 20 seconds. We get to the right of him here. Happy to go to lay left. Nice left in this building speed.
Yes, sir, keep the line. Nice coming down on the right.
Let's have a look how close this previous cross just was. both boats get pushed really, really hard here, Shirley.
Yeah, coming up.
Interesting how they swap helms as well. We hear in the comms Ainsley, who was on starboard, taking control just to accurately nail that cross.
Yeah, from the windward side of the yacht there, you've absolutely no idea where that other yacht is. You're absolutely relying on that little helmsman and trimming to position to paint that picture and actually have control of the yacht in those crossing situations.
This is so close. I mean, like a second between them. Big decisions to make at this top gate.
Okay, on board for me.
Coming into the top gate for the first time. How tight's this going to be? Hold breath for just a moment. Who gets the advantage going in? INEOS Britannia around the top mark for the first time. Closely followed by Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
Okay, travelers captions. Okay, boys, go Trav. Hit it. Okay, get set. Hold it, let's get it started. Breeze is in the right here, but looking for a match, I think, Leroy. Up that. They go now. What's now? Fine, what do you think? 3, 2, 1.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing there, jibing inside to make sure that they've got a clear lane of breeze on this downwind. You can hear the cycles of both teams there, really putting in the big yards there.
But take slower. To go. Breeze. Happy to go from here. Okay, 2, 1, fall down.
Down to chase 0. Pete evenly matched these two boats.
Yeah, I was impressed at the top mark, the way INEOS engineered that last third to create a pass right at the top mark, and then they matched. So they got in phase immediately with the Alinghi. Gave away a little bit to do that late tack, but it just means now that they can push forward in that bow position, and we know that INEOS looks pretty pacey on downwind legs.
I agree with Pete. I mean, Alinghi really let INEOS off the hook. They did not protect that right-hand side.
Catching them here. Okay, you got eyes on, yeah? Okay, they're turning down, and they're board down. 2, 1, forward down. 3, 2, 1, mate. Standing. 5, 6, 1.
It is such a treat to get inside the cockpits, see the body language, but also to hear the comms and how much pressure there was, constant pressure.
Yeah, great comms there from flight controller Lee McMillan for the manoeuvre there, just painting a really beautiful picture of what he was seeing out there for the opposite side of the yacht. So that choreography just super important for sailing the boat cleanly.
We want the right upwind, so actually we let them go and go to the ley line or no? Yeah, I think it's...
Yeah, looking at some really nice numbers here, the VMG of the yachts, that's basically velocity made good to the bottom mark. So they're basically heading directly to those marks at about 36 knots. I did about 40 knots, but VMG to the bottom actually about 35, 36. So really, really good numbers for the downwind there.
2, 1,
They're pretty matched, these two boats. I mean, it's so interesting to see the comparisons. Not really made a massive gain, INEOS down this leg.
Only one wobble away from a pass here. The British need to keep sailing accurately, which they are.
We did ask what we were going to get from Britannia today. We've got some pretty slick sailing so far at this point. They'll complete leg number 2, race 9 of the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta, and it will be the challenger of record. INEOS Britannia enter the gate for the first time and around that left-hand mark.
Watch for an early tackle now.
Closely followed by Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
High speed. Breeze is in the right. Breeze is in the right. Yeah.
About a 90-metre gain by the British there on that downwind leg. So it appears that they've got some good legs downwind, the British. So Alinghi Red Bull Racing really needing to sail cleanly here to get back again.
On to INEOS Britannia's chase boat and the coach Rob Wilson. Feels like a better day today, Rob.
Yeah, no, certainly it was a pretty even start, you know, the boys did a nice first beat, and then certainly a good run, had legs on the on Swiss, so yeah, pretty happy so far.
Rob, Glenn here, mate. Looks like you got some wheels on the downwind. The boat looks like it's going really well.
Yeah, hi there, Glennie. Yeah, downwind seems reasonably strong for us at the moment. We're still looking for a little bit of pace upwards. Not too much, you know, but we've got a strong squad behind us working hard on that, so we're pushing on.
Thanks for your time, Rob. Appreciate it. Let's go to J0 pitch. You're listening to what Rob Wilson, coach of INEOS, has said. Kerr?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought INEOS looked real quick on that downward leg. Now they're coming directly at us on the left-hand side. INEOS is just trying to reduce the gauge between Alinghi, and that lateral separation initially did reduce, but as we speak, Alinghi have just got into a bit more pressure in that windward position. So coming across on starboard, it's been a pretty even match.
Just getting past intersection in 10.
Right-hand side of the track looks really good today, more so than ever. You can see them really trying to protect it.
Give a couple of seconds.
I think the encouraging thing here today, what we've been wanting to see since the start of this, that pace from INEOS and seeing that they've really worked this boat to potential.
With changes in modes as well, Glenn, you know, as the pressure's gone up and down, and pretty versatile what they can do with these machines.
Absolutely, the moding of these boats is super critical. The gains in just putting the bow down a couple of degrees, you know, into more pressure, you can gain 4, 5, 6 knots of boat speed. So against your opponent, you're using those modes accurately as you can to really get the best out of you know, tactical positioning.
25 minutes. Really we're going 1 in. 20 to the midway. Yeah.
Let's see, go on. They will not get to ley line. You should be able to tackle them here. Yeah. Let's give this again. I think actually just go to ley line. Yeah, take the tack. FK bias. Copy it, boy. 10 seconds here. Keep working, Nudwick.
See how well the British are sailing their boat trim-wise there. Foil Trimmer's doing a really nice job of looking that British boat in, sailing a really solid run.
Just listening to the comms from Subinese, there's real confidence in the voice today. Like, we're in control of this.
It's a calmer boat, isn't it? I mean, from the get-go, it's felt like they had a plan and they've executed it, and they haven't done anything complicated, and they're sailing the boat, as you said. Trimming with the foils, it just seems so accurate today.
Take a little bit of height for the turn. Copy that.
Coming into the halfway mark of race number 9, about to complete leg number 3 of 6, and it will be the challenger of record, INEOS Britannia, looking good, and they'll be very happy about this. This game is also about one of confidence, and around they go.
100, 120.
Following to the gate to complete their halfway stage, it's Alinghi Red Bull Racing. They take the opposite mark. The gap's lengthening somewhat.
I see that too much. And it's quite a good angle, yeah. Hello. Nicely. And it just go all the way for us. Nothing to worry. Tabika left in on us. Very good radio. More pressure coming.
Yeah, the VMG line here again, this is sort of the line, if you like, that's directly to that bottom gate. So you see the British there, 37.9, there's sort of, they're just often just click faster on this downwind, I think, than Alinghi Red Bull Racing. So really, really interesting to see those VMG lines, because that's the exact course that they're doing to the bottom gate.
That's solid tempo. Let's let down here. I think we can go straight. Yeah,
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, shortening to 1.75 nautical miles.
To recover. Go all the way here and see how it plays out. Yeah, copy.
Those cyclors definitely not coasting on the downhill, one would say, surely. It's definitely a full pedal going downhill for these guys.
the way the British run their cyclers is they have like a cox, and their cox is rower and sailor Matt Godfrey, who's sort of leading the push. You know, when you need something extra, they're working together. But listen to the comms on board also.
The breeze obviously just dropping just fractionally there with the course change from Ian Murray and Mel Roberts there. Alinghi Red Bull Racing really just trailing probably a little too much at the moment to put massive pressure on the British. They've just got themselves far enough forward now that they can afford to just put the shoulders back a little bit and just sail the boat well. So still quite a bit of racing to go though yet.
Got to remember we're playing the long game here, of course. Arno Sarafagis, despite being beaten yesterday by American Magic, said it was a massive learning day, and that's what we have to understand. This is all about the long game.
But we're seeing progress day on day, Stephen. Look at INEOS today, it's like a different boat.
INEOS Britannia coming into the bottom gate for the last time, except for the finish. 2 more legs to go. They look confident, they look fast. There'll be a good vibe on the boat.
Let's go. Just need a tiny bit more leeward, I think. Yeah. Stay with it. Okay. Get out, speed in. They keep funny in here. They look like they're splitting.
More pressure on the right of the course. Yeah, one.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing now coming into the bottom gate for the last time, barring the finish. They'll take the right-hand mark, as you said, and around we go. Heading up to top again.
Nice one board round up there on Alinghi. That's a really nice, fast, clean turn up onto the wind. So they'll be back to good numbers very, very quickly there. The breeze dropping just a little, so making those turns on one board all that more doable.
What's the cut, Glenn, between 1 and 2? Do with that.
Depends on how brave you are. Certainly in these light conditions, it's a lot easier on one, but as it does get windier, probably then about 12 or 13 knots. 2 boards are the key. Some great shots of the helm and trimming positions there on board Alinghi Red Bull Racing. It really is a flight cockpit.
Let's go on to chase 0 with Peter Lester. Looks like Alinghi Red Bull Racing are trying hard to hang on, but they're being outgunned today.
Yeah, and the big jumps made on the downwind leg. INEOS was really quick on the downwind. On that last one, they took out 5 boat lengths on that leg. And that has now put them in a real safety buffer over Alinghi. So I think the speed advantage that INEOS have on the downwind, we saw it yesterday, but they've really capitalised on that today against Alinghi.
INEOS Britannia sailing low, a little bit faster. You can see that at the top of the rigs. I mean, perhaps just a strategy to, you know, protect that right-hand side. All about positioning.
Yeah, absolutely. Shirley, they're definitely pressing on the woolies, as you'd say there, using the jib hard and just putting the bow down and letting it rumble, and that's sailing straight across the face of Alinghi Red Bull Racing and making sure they need a bit of dirty air on that trip across to the right-hand side.
We've got a lovely shot of the woolies. They have plenty of them.
Those little woolly indicators indicating the airflow actually going around the sails themselves, so really key to be able to see, particularly in take-off situations and manoeuvres, just how quickly you get that flow attached back again on the sail plan.
So you can get one in right. So go leeward. Leeward.
We have a grandstand view watching this, and folks on the beach at Barcelona, they have a grandstand view as well. Don't know where you'd rather be around the world watching whatever size device, but boy, they have really turned on here in Barcelona.
Amazing shot there of INEOS Britannia. Having a look now at the trim angle of Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Both boats being sailed really well here, and just that little gap that INEOS Britannia gained off the start and up that first beat has put Alinghi on the back foot.
Providing INEOS Britannia get home well, and they're looking at a strong position. It's a 1-point win in the preliminary regatta, but there's much more meaning to this win today, considering what's come before them in this regatta.
Keep going straight. Stand by. 2, 1, down. 2, 1, please. Standing. 2, 1, turn board.
Yeah, Ben and the boys absolutely need to have a solid result today. You know, they've had a couple of wobbly ones, and they'll be really looking forward to getting across the finish line here with a win.
INEOS Britannia in control of race number 9 here in the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta here off the coast of Barcelona. They've looked sharp today, and we've all been waiting for that. They have answered the call, you might say, as they round the top mark for the last time and head home.
The sound of the AC75 being pushed hard. Cyclors absolutely cranking there to get the power back on.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing. It's just a quick check on the delta. It was 28 seconds. The bottom mark, they've shaved 3 seconds off. Marginal improvement. I love the word improvement.
See how hard those cyclists are working there on Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
On chase 0, Peter. I think as was head down this final leg for INEOS Britannia. This is a welcome sight for everybody. Most importantly, the team itself.
Yeah, this is impressive by INEOS. They've really, I think, completely dominated this one. The crucial time for me was that lead change on leg 1, but equally impressive has been their downwind performance. I had that last upwind at the same delta as the previous upwind, but it's downwind that they are making the big gains. It'll be interesting to see what the delta is when they go over the line.
This way. A little soft touch. Maybe link it bow up.
Fantastic audio.
All the way to there, come on.
It's so hard in there, isn't it? You are in just a carbon hole with no air. It's hot. There's G-force.
It sounds like pistons going.
Well, they are. And those pistons are the legs, and you wouldn't want to be one of those boys. I don't think they are absolutely on the rig limiter there. Doing a brilliant job. Hats off to them.
Not allowed to lift your head up either.
No, you get someone to smack over the ears if you lift your head up. It's all about aero and keep your head down and do your job.
The tough life of a cycler, and
I love it.
Understood, right?
I love it. I live for it.
Spoken like a true non-cycler.
Spoken like a true trimmer. Give me some more energy so I can trim more.
Do another left one and just see if we can get a bit more heel and last rounding here, boss.
INEOS Britannia having a good day on Saturday here at Barcelona. They will tick over win number 1 in the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta. It'll be a point, but there'll be more to celebrate. They have been slick today, and they've still got a race to come.
Nice. Can you get your foot down? Yep.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing were hanging in there for albeit the good 3 legs, but then in the end, the relative speed and sailing skill of INEOS Britannia has caught them hanging, and they will come in. They'll finish second in the Preliminary Regatta. No points for that.
Are you the same? I extend a bit to the left corner and exit.
Wonder what that means to the team on INEOS Britannia. How about that? Yeah! Little pats on the back. Job done. It's the most important thing. Confidence will wash across the whole crew. Confirming the race result of race number 9 of the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta. A first up win for the challenger of record, INEOS Britannia. A 33-second win over Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
Well, it was a good, clean start, wasn't it, Glenn? Both boats getting off the line in great shape. INEOS Britannia just 4 meters from the line.
Fantastic start. The top gate, Shirley, really INEOS Britannia just shutting the door there on Alinghi Red Bull Racing and sort of, you know, taking the gate off them and really putting them on that foot.
INEOS Britannia really put the pedal down on this downwind leg and perhaps showed us a glimpse of just what they've got.
I think INEOS Britannia's pace downwind was really quite impressive, and I think that was one of the things out of today's race, that it was actually, you know, quite nice to see for them. So I'll be very, very happy with that for the whole team. Coming across the finish line.
Yeah, good finish.
They did a great job. The team will be stuck with that, and they'll be looking forward to tomorrow's racing for sure.
Let's get on to INEOS Britannia with Ben. Ben, congratulations. That was slick, mate. You must be soaked.
Yeah, it's been better than the previous couple of races, so Tim did a great job. It's actually got okay off the start line, but Alinghi did a nice job hanging in there and made it quite difficult for us when we tacked onto port pretty close, and we managed to get to the right-hand side of the top of that beat, which came good for us. But yeah, much better race, and looking forward to the next one against Rossa.
Benny, it's Glenn here. You look like you've got some decent wheels downwind, mate. You must be feeling pretty solid. Look great.
Yeah, we're going downwind, and you know, it's tricky conditions with the breeze on the bill like this, and again, seeing some differences in some of the team sail configurations. We're on our smaller main, and I think Alinghi changed to bigger main, so plenty going out here.
Thanks, mate. We'll see you a little bit later on against Rossa.
Cheers, guys.
On to Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Asara Fargis on starboard helm. You hung in with them a while. It was a solid start.
Yeah, it was really great start of the race. We did a good job to really hold them all the way to the boundary and then make them the double tack. And after, yeah, we were just to push as hard as we can, and they just got the cross, and then from there they did control the race. But the guys on board did a really good job to provide the power and try to stay as close as possible and wait for a tiny mistake. But INEOS controlled the race pretty nicely from the cross.
Arno, it's early days, isn't it? I mean, how happy are you with how it's all starting to come together?
I think it's pretty great. I mean, third race of racing, we can learn every day. We adjust from yesterday. We were really happy with the start and the strategy, and I think we need to learn this week as much as we can, and before going to next weekend.
Thanks, Arno. We'll still get Emirates Team New Zealand later on today.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Just having a little quick look at some of the pre-start, because Shirley, it was a really good battle there in the pre-start, and actually boats getting off the line pretty even.
Yeah, and I think INEOS really learned from the mistake yesterday. They get inside the start box, they get over the ley line and really played it safe, in control, and the boats ended up with a pretty decent start.
Foiling has revolutionised the America's Cup, as you have seen, and these wing-like appendages that can lift a hull clear out of the water enable them to hit speeds of 50+ knots. So every team's hoping this will be their year to celebrate. Alinghi Red Bull Racing is confident they've got the correct mix of youth and experience to see their C75 to victory.
To learn to sail an S75 with 2 men was a bit disturbing in the beginning, mainly because it was new.
Being a helm on the 75, it's quite challenging. I think it's an important part to have a good communication on board between Arno and me.
The sails go from the mast all the way to the back and down to deck, so you don't see half of the race course or what's happening. So you need really to rely on your crew members, and especially the other helmsmen that you have.
Anyway, 3, 2, 1, bearing away.
I think that Rossa, when they came up with that idea in 2021, was a game changer solution. And for us, it was the option that we wanted to go from the beginning. You learn way faster as well, because you can combine 2 experiences. You try new things way quicker. So the learning curve is much better with 2 helmsmen than 1.
Driving an AC-75, it's quite different compared to other boats, because it was my first time like seated driving with a wheel. You have many buttons on the wheel that make many settings, making the boat faster, really like a car, I would say. Arno Fargis is very talented sailor. I think he's focusing a lot on the performance of the boats. He's always questioning the systems and how to be faster. And I think it's one of the quality that is the best for winning the America's Cup. So I'm very happy to helm with him.
I think Barcelona, the second helmsman that we have, is full of energy, young sailor. But it's great because we have a slightly different approach. His one is incredible because he's fearless. He just want to send the boat around the race course at full speed. Winning this America's Cup will be a great achievement because we've been working so hard for this goal. I've been dreaming about it for many, many years.
Lifting the America's Cup, I think it's the best achievement I can have and the biggest dream I have. To be able to bring it back to Switzerland, making the same atmosphere as I had when I was young, when they won times. So if I can bring this to the country, will be just an amazing feeling.
Race 10 in the gate, American Magic, Orient Express Racing.
Well, blaming himself for errors in the pre-start dance yesterday, driver Tom Slingsby will be looking for a win and a faultless execution today. His opposite helm is Olympic gold medalist Paul Goodison, Jim Flight was Campbell in Menninger, and supplying the power, Hall, Wright and Molitor, and the first man to complete 4 kilometres in under 4 minutes, track cycling phenomenon, Ashton Lambie.
New to the America's Cup table in the 37th America's Cup battle is the French team of Orient Express Racing. The driving team of Quentin Delapierre on the starboard side of the yacht and Kevin Pepinay on the port side will guide the yacht around the racecourse. Foil trimmers Mathieu Van Dam and Jason Saunders round out the afterguard, and with a powerful Cyclor team powering the hydraulic pumps on board, they need a solid day today.
And there are your men guiding these AC75s about Tom Slingsby, Paul Goodson left to right at the top. And then you've got Quentin Delapierre and Kevin Pepinay on Orient Express Racing. Fun fact of the day, we're 7 weeks to the day to the start of the match, October 12, 2024, as we try and find a challenger.
This is the race committee. The wind sampling period is complete, and this race is live.
American Magic, 2 wins, 1 loss, 2 points, beaten by Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli yesterday after being forced into basically a poor start, which Shirley quite rightly said. Tom Slingsby put his hand up, said it was all on me. And Orient Express Racing, having retired in the last race of the day yesterday, we're just hanging out for them to show what they got.
So we're needing a solid day today, French team, and we're all really hoping they can have that coming in towards the entry now.
Okay, we're all clear. Good angle, no lower. Sorry, smart wheel. Okay, very way in 2, 1, all clear.
American Magic just about perfect with time on distance, and from port and in come Orient Express Racing. They will be quite a bit late.
Rolling up into it.
Yeah, just on time there, the French just a little further away from the line, so a little bit late close to the pin, but sailing the boat nicely here, so really hoping that they engage. American Magic off the floors there. This will be not what they're looking for here, surely, in the pre-start. That's not ideal for them.
Well, maybe we'll see what happened there, but
yeah, we're all good.
Almost looked like they lost the rudder of the boat in the manoeuvre there. Tom Slingsby standing up there to sort of try and get the boat going again.
Half board here. Behind us, only behind. Yeah, we're going to jibe over here, guys. Rudder's gone.
the rudder stalled.
No. Okay, good.
They've got an issue there. Saying something's wrong with the rudder, potentially.
Yep, take up once. Whatever board you know. Take it. Up on whichever board you'd like, but just, I'm not sure.
Big problems in the start box for American Magic. Race 10.
Opening the door here for the French to
but I do not see actually.
get off the line cleanly.
Orient Express, just keep it simple. We all want to see them complete a race.
Yep, don't OCS, sail the boat well, get off the line, press on the jib and get it round the track.
Big goal, Michael.
Doing a nice job getting the boat dialed there. 29 seconds to go for the French to start. So time on distance for them. Big problems for American Magic.
Yeah, there's no head action, so I think we're... Yeah, it looks wrong on the diagram too. I think we're wrong. I think we're up on
10 seconds to go. Orient Express Racing. Look like they've got their time on distance well sorted. They weren't pushed at all in the start box by American Magic, who have big problems. And away go Orient Express Racing in race number 10.
Race committee. Team USA. We withdrawing.
Wow, disaster.
Too many copies. Thanks, USA.
For American Magic reliability. It happened to the French yesterday. It's happening to America today.
Declaration stuff.
We heard them say that they heard a big bang, so potentially quite a big deal.
Yeah, be interesting
This
to
is
know
the umpires. USA has retired. The race is stopped and awarded France.
Wow, that's all we can say about this one. When you heard, I think it was Tom Slingley saying the rudder's gone.
Yeah, that's not the words that you want to hear anywhere within the American Magic team at all, and I'm sure they'll get on top of that fairly quickly, but that has completely ruined the race for them. But fantastic to see the French out there now just, sailing around the track, and their boat obviously performing well.
Ok, non, je faisais une question.
Moi, la NQF, je sais si tu le veux.
Ah, j'ai pas reçu.
Gagnant, d'accord. Et presse-moi si on a un alert disponible.
Ah, copie.
Ouais, il faut vraiment essayer de le faire, les gars. Vas-y,
Ok.
Really fantastic shot there of Orient Express Racing. Absolutely dialed in and sailing the boat well. The boat performing.
Great Britain, Italy. This is the race committee. We're wondering if you guys are ready. If we bring the race forward, please let us know if it would be possible.
Hey Mel, this is Italy. We'll just do a jib change and we'll be ready to go.
Just watching a replay here of the American Magic boat just trying to get going again, and clearly a rudder malfunction there, and such a shame, surely, with what we've seen with how solid the team has been up to this point.
This could actually develop into quite a big deal. They need to declare the kit they're going to use for future racing when we get into the round robins, and they have a time limit on when they can say that. I mean, this is quite a stressful moment for Terry Hudson and his band of men.
Well, let's take it bring it back a little bit further. Not getting a win in this race today actually puts all sorts of pressure on them to try and make the final of the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta, because they're on 2 points. The Italians are on 2 points. The Italians are up against the Brits. And wow, what could unfold? Does Italy get the win? They're in the box position to potentially head towards a final.
I think though, Stephen, they're looking further ahead than that, especially when it's hardware. It's not just a kind of tickle of the software or checking the electronics. That not sound good.
They'll definitely get on top of little issue for sure. I'm sure it's not a complete showstopper for the team. So they'll get it sorted, and they'll be back out sailing again. So obviously reliability is something that all the teams sort of working on in these early stages, and lots of systems on board, all getting commissioned for early times. So pretty frustrating faces there from Paul Goodison, having a yarn to his team, but they'll be back to fight another day.
We've seen a lot of gear issues. I mean, is that just, it's early days, it's a preliminary event, the boats are complicated. Are you surprised, Ben?
Look, the boats are extremely high-tech, very, very complicated, and, they're super, super light. If it was an aircraft, you'd have 2 or 3 redundancies, for example, to keep the thing flying. Aircraft are heavy and they burn a lot of fuel because you do have all that redundancy built on board. These boats simply don't have that redundancy, and every system needs to work correctly, and that will all come together over time, as we see over the next few weeks and the early days of racing at the moment. But as we've seen, it happened to Orient Express Racing yesterday, and look, they're sailing now. Boat's working perfectly. They need a good solid lot on the board, and fantastic to see them sailing around. A great result for the team. Big job, and super stoked for the French out in the water sailing that way.
It'll be interesting to see how long Orient Express Racing are out on the course with no one to race, because I think that they're just gagging to have some practice time out there and just get themselves finessed.
Yeah, they definitely won't want the racing to be brought forward for the other teams. They'll be like, it's our course, we want to use it, and you know, they'll enjoy sailing around, just getting the feel for the track and utilising the systems.
Righty-ho, let's go on to American Magic and try and figure out exactly what went wrong. Paul Goodison is with us. Paul, what happened?
Oh, we don't really know. We lost rudder control in the entry there as we started to circle, and we still had a little bit of steering, but didn't have any rake management, which is why the boat dropped out of the sky and made it difficult for us.
Yeah, Paul, Glenn here, mate. You guys have been so reliable, you know, over the past sort of weeks. That must be pretty disappointing for you guys. It's a real shame. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, no, it is disappointing. It's all part of the puzzle. I think the big thing is how we figure out what went wrong. Like the boat, as you said, has been so reliable. The guys have doing such a great job of getting us out here every day, and the reliability. So we just got to dive in to find out what went wrong and make sure it doesn't happen again.
No, nice, mate. Thanks for that. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys back out there smacking it hard tomorrow, mate. Good luck.
Thank you.
Understandable disappointment. How about that bang, though? Like something just went.
Definitely sounded like something failing there. I don't think potentially a electronic issue. That actual bang sounded like something at probably at the head of the rudder in the top bearing, basically, that would actually control the actual rake ram of the rudder. It sounded like possibly a rake control failure of a hardware nature, not a software nature. So we'll hopefully get more information on that shortly.
It was definitely Houston. We have a problem. That was a hell of a bang.
It was definitely a bang on board there. You could see that from the rear camera shot, which was a fantastic shot, and just that jerking of that thing going. So I'd say definitely a hardware failure there, but nothing that the guys won't be able to fix. They've got a great team, and that's why you have a brilliant short team. They get onto these things quickly, and a huge part of the whole campaign, making sure the boat stays reliable.
Give us an idea of how much load on that tiny rudder wing.
Yeah, well, certainly in different situations, you can have tons of load, thousands of kilograms of load vertically and pulling down on the actual rudder itself. And in a big run-up situation like that, where the rudder rate is actually really going through a huge movement to keep board, there will be a lot of vertical load on the rudder itself and a lot of sort of compression load and tension load on those control rams that are actually controlling the head of the rudder to actually control the pitch of the boat. So, you know, again, you don't want to overbuild those systems because they need to be light enough to keep the boat down as light as possible in rule tolerance. So a lot of work to be done on those systems.
So let's just take a look at where the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta stands at the moment. Look at that. Changes. Point for INEOS Britannia and Orient Express Racing. Happy days, but that could be a crucial problem for the USA going forward. We'll just have to wait and see how that one shakes down. Emirates Team New Zealand, they have a final race today against Alinghi Red Bull Racing. That'll be race for 12. Next up, it'll be Rossa, Prada, Pirelli against INEOS Britannia. One boat, one skipper. Well, it's a time-old concept that's been cast adrift on these supercharged AC-75s. Twin helmsmen have become the norm. The Franz Canton de la Pierre and Kevin Pepinay. It comes naturally. In fact, it's cemented a brotherly bond that's set to last a lifetime.
I'm helming the AC-75 with Kevin Pepinay, who will helm the 75 on port. You have to trust the second helm because he's got your blind angle. I know for a while that Kevin has the same vision as me. He's sailing nearly the same way as me, and he's always asking himself how to better.
I know Quentin for a while. The first time we met was maybe 10 years ago. We were sailing against each other, and we met in a youth French national of night racing. and we ended up in final. We had a lot in common at that time. Like, yeah, we were enjoying sailing together.
As soon as you're making together a pair, it's all about trusting and believing that the other one is able to do great things. And I think we've got that together. We know that Kevin or me can achieve great start, can win the biggest event in our sport, and that's all you need. Kevin is a great human. He's always smiling.
He's also the godfather of my kid. We like spending a minimum of time outside the America's Cup. Laugh, yeah.
He did something that really touched me last year. He just named me as a godfather, and that's really mattered for me. It's not only the cup or sailing or athletes, it's also about relationship. I truly believe that the human relationship, you will remind this your whole life. At the very end is if you have great friends, your life is way better. So that's Kevin. I think he's a very good human, as I said.
On a boat, we need to share the helm, and there is sometimes we are both hands on the helm and like 4 hands on the helm. Sharing the helm is meaning about ego too. On track, you are leading the performance by running the 100% of the boat in your hand. And on the other tack, you have all the tools, but you are leaving the rudder to the other helm.
I've always been really impressed how Kevin is able to be really focused on what are the essentials or what really matters for winning a race as soon as the pressure is really high. And at the end, when it really matters to perform or to win a race, I'm always sure that we are on the same page and we are just focused on being fast and being first.
Not a good day for American Magic. Looks like a piece of gear has failed. Let's go onto the coach boat and talk to Coach Tom Burnham. Tom, everything's been going so well so far. Probably the best thing for this to happen now, right?
Yeah, of course. It's still the preliminary regatta, so points aren't counting yet for sending anybody home at this stage, so that's a good thing. But certainly a disappointing day. We had a really great warm-up. Everything was going really well, and then a little bit of a failure there in the start.
Oh, Tom, it's Glenn here, mate. It looked like a pretty decent bang on the cameras from the transom of the boat there, and just wondering what actually went bang.
Yeah, I think it's something with the rake ram, the rake cylinder for the rudder rake. I'm not exactly sure. There's a whole bunch of hydraulic experts down the back there having a look at it, and I've been up trying to help fold the jib, which is an unusual activity for me because everybody was so busy in the back.
Oh, sweet, mate. No, sorry to that breakage, but you guys will be back, I'm sure.
Hey, Tom, one final question. When you have a breakage like this, and you're the coach, you deal not just with how they sail, but with their heads as well. Do you have to get inside the head a little bit and say, okay, just keep moving, or are they smart enough just to know that now?
Oh, these guys are seasoned professionals, have been through a lot in their careers, and they certainly don't need to be told that. But of course, we remind them that we can control what's in our control and sort of in the nailing part, and they've been doing a really great job of that so far. So yeah, just keep chipping away, and everything's going on track. We just got to make sure we keep these breakages down as well, and keep executing around the race course.
Tom, appreciate the time. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
The New York Yacht Club has a long and rich history in the America's Cup. For 132 years, they were the guardians of the America's Cup. It was the longest winning run in sporting history, but it came to an end in 1983 when Australia won the Cup and took it down under. Now they're back, and they've charged the team at American Magic with the task of reclaiming sailing's holy grail.
The New York Yacht Club was the first trustee of the America's Cup, won back in 1851 and lost in 1983.
The whole history of the America's Cup is so intertwined with the New York Yacht Club. Being a part of that history is really special. It's really exciting. This is only the second campaign for American Magic, so we're trying to build upon that historical piece that the Yacht Club brings with a newer team.
America was the first boat to win the America's Cup, and Magic was the first boat to defend the America's Cup. And so when we were deciding on what to call the team, Hap said, I think we should call it American Magic, and here's why. And it stuck. Yeah, for me, it's evolved. At first, it was the historical side, and then You know, when you reflect back on our trajectory in AC36, there was magic that was created out of catastrophe. We have not chosen an easy path, you know, particularly because one moment defined America's Cup 36 for us. While it wasn't pretty, we didn't let the moment beat us. Yeah, I mean, you take it on the chin, and, you know, 4 years later, you can think about it in a slightly different lens, but it's definitely with you. When I contemplate AC37 and I look at the incredible work being done for us, and for me personally, the name has definitely evolved into we're representing our country, and the people inside of our team is really what creates the magic.
I christen the Patriot.
There's a lot of unfinished business within the team, a lot of people that feel like there were some things that were left undone that want to be finished off properly and come back and get a second chance at making a real good go at this show. It is a hard thing to come out and win, and it takes a bit of time and a bit of learning.
I think the team learned some really valuable lessons in Auckland. And it's not just the lessons that we learned from the mistakes we made or the things we did well, but also understanding where other teams got decisions right and where other teams made, I guess, the wrong decisions.
Oh, he's going to capsize.
When you put all that information together, it gives you a really good matrix to figure out how you're going to operate this time around.
You see and you feel it, I think, every day. It's just a sense of purpose. We've been through something really tough together, and we're going to develop the character that we have as a team going forward.
You know, when I come in through the door each day, I'm proud of what we've built here. You see what we are and how we are. It's not flashy. You know, there's a little bit of blue collar to it that makes you feel proud of the fact that we have everything that we need, but we're focused and spending our resources in a proper way, not in a way to glamour up or glitz a base.
That's why I love being part of it, why I love being here, being with everybody and seeing their determination, seeing their talents. I mean, they're so talented in so many ways, but absolutely committed to the goal that we have to win.
It was, I guess, an Australian team that took it away from them in 1983.
The defence had lost, and for the first time in 132 years, the challenger had won.
I'm half Aussie, half American, so I'm very proud to represent the US. My mother's fully American, and she's extremely proud that I represent the American flag. And we're here, we're excited, we're ready to roll for the race.
Winning. That's what success is. You win. You win, and you have a role at that point, once you win, to influence the event and influence Ailing.
Can American Magic win the America's Cup? Absolutely. The magic will come from the people inside of our four walls. And as a competitor and inside this competition, if it's within yourself and it's within the people that you have to execute, you couldn't ask for a better situation.
Race number 11, Rossa, Prada, Pirelli, INEOS, Britannia.
Clean, clinical and polished. Early days, but Luna Rossa, Prada, Pirelli already look to be setting the bar amongst the challengers. Jimmy Spittle, driving in his 8th consecutive cup, has turned up looking strong, and his long-term partnership with Bruni, well, makes this a formidable pairing. Bolognese and Tise ensuring the speed and a steady flight, and backed up on the pumps by Voltellini, Gabbia, Liuzzi and Kerwin.
Another seasoned America's Cup outfit and challenger of record for AC37 is the British team of INEOS Britannia. Led by Ben Ainsley steering the team's dreams and the yacht itself, can he and the team right the wrongs of past campaigns? Joined by offside helmsman Dylan Fletcher, flight controls Lee McMillan and Bleddenmon, the team also utilises some of Britain's best leg power, some crank-snapping energy provided from the Cyclor group, ready to power the huge sails on these 75-foot carbon flying machines.
INEOS Britannia will be pretty happy about what they have done their first win, but this is the team that come up against the silver bullet, Luna Rossa, Prada, Pirelli. We've got a win yesterday. They are a 2-win, 1-loss record with 2 points. Let's go and do chase 0 with Peter Lester. Peter, after what we saw with INEOS Britannia, this is another step up for them against Rossa.
Certainly is. I think it's a really good benchmark for INEOS. They sailed really well against Alinghi. Now they're going to come up against the challenger of the last America's Cup, Rossa, Prada, Pirelli, and it is a step up. And if they can be competitive against Rossa, that would be a big tick in their box for the day. So I think this is a fascinating battle. I think INEOS have got that trump card with their downwind speed. Can they utilise it in the race against Rossa?
What are the conditions like?
Yeah, pretty nice. It chops up a little bit. It looks like it's about 12, 13 knots, and the seaway has built a little bit, so it's a wee bit more than what we had earlier on in that first race of the day.
A little bit of a juicy showdown, this one. Can't wait to see this. And as Pete rightly said, a good chance to benchmark yourself against a Rossa team that yesterday were just smart and they're clean.
Yeah, speaking of juicy showdowns, there'll be plenty of juice getting pushed around those hydraulic pumps in this pre-start. Both these teams absolutely will be throwing it round, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see what dance moves they've got. They probably won't show all the dance moves this early, but it will be a dance nonetheless.
So Rossa, Prada, Pirelli. Just a reminder, they're sitting on 2 points. That loss by American Magic could fall into their favour, and it's a big now if they're able to get over the top of INEOS Britannia.
They will have practiced racing this team in this simulator. You know how much of all that goes on and how big a difference does it make?
It's absolutely key to sort of know your opponent's strengths and weaknesses, and all teams are really doing a lot of recon on the, what the other team's got in their toolbox as far as match racing goes, but also what they can do with their boat. How quickly can they turn it? How easily can they throw around? At the end of the day, it's the millimetres of difference, as we saw yesterday with Emirates Team New Zealand, just getting INEOS off the foils. Like, they're the small differences that make the result or not in the end.
Fast turnaround for INEOS Britannia when you think about we've normally got a long race to get themselves sorted on their 2-race day. Interesting to see just how they adjust quickly and where they feel a little bit of pressure knowing that the Italians are coming at them.
I think fantastic that they've already had one race under their belt today. They've got a feeling of the race course. They've had some looking up and down the course, and they'll have their boat dialed in. So obviously got a little bit more time to start now. We've still got some shots here, still about 5 minutes 20 to go. So we're just seeing boats cruising around, keeping the boat on the foils. They'll be lining themselves up for a good entry position. Probably with about sort of 1.5 to 2 minutes go, they'll be wanting to put themselves in a predefined position to make sure they execute that entry well. That's all so important.
It's quite the billing, Stephen, isn't it? Jimmy Smithsell versus Ben Ainsley.
Actually, Jimmy's been quite quiet so far, hasn't he? I'm sure he's going to get a little bit more vocal. He's sort of allowing Francesco Breddi to do all the talking. I'm waiting for the, shall we say, historical Jimmy to arrive.
Jimmy will still be practicing his Italian because he speaks about 2 words. I think I might have 1 word more than him, but I think he's got 2 and I've got 3, but they're probably all bad ones. But no, this is going to be a great showdown, and these guys have done a lot of sailing together over the years, so they'll be looking forward to dominating, I think, in this run.
Peter mentioned the change in the sea state with these boats. Does it affect them that much?
Quite nice flat water at the moment. I mean, I think tomorrow could potentially be a little rougher, which is going to be really interesting. At the moment, absolutely perfect conditions for these boats. 10 to 12 knots.
Careful with the gas on the way back.
That's how close we get to show people around the world the pictures. There's one of our helis up there getting right on top of them. I think from memory, Jimmy does not like helis.
Jimmy does do a little bit of flying, and I think he likes flying in the helicopter, but not being underneath one. But no, it's all fun and games. It's all part of it, and the helicopter guys do a brilliant job to keep out of the way. Really get some great pictures.
The Kiwi boat definitely gone softer than before.
A little bit to go before we get them in on port and starboard entry. It'll be Rossa in on board with the 2 minutes and 10
like early
mark. 2 minutes for INEOS Britannia. Let's have a little listen to see what they're going through. A little bit earlier than expected.
Try to reward code word to that. You have the speed for the tank, okay? It's going to go up here, guys. Stand by.
This is the race committee. We have completed the wind sampling period, and this race is live.
All good.
We are good to go for race number 11. Port entry will be Rossa, Prada, Pirelli. Starboard entry at 2 minutes will be INEOS Britannia. Having picked up their first win of this preliminary regatta, they'll have the bit between their teeth. They'll be ready to go. They'll say, okay, figured it out, feel good, come on Italy, let's have a nudge.
So this is where we would normally take things from coming in, but both boats lining up for looks like to be an on-time entry, surely.
Rossa, Prada, Pirelli look like their time or distance is bang on, steaming in at around 35 knots. And they come onto the start box, not too far away. Here comes INEOS Britannia. Allowed to enter in 2 minutes. They'll be just a little bit behind that, but let it get on.
Really nice entry for both boats there, so just stand by for some action.
Hey, here's Loma.
Going board. Hey.
Hey, going for up again. Nice position.
Next one on here. Your will. Don't mind. Hey, Peel now. Killing 122.
The object of the game
Go the
here,
other side of them. They look quite early.
put your opponent on the back foot off the start line.
Okay, killing a minute.
This is the umpires. Early entry penalty, GBR. Early entry penalty, GBR.
There's a big penalty there for the British. They must have entered the entry zone early. They will have a penalty. They will be trying to wash the penalty off as quick as they can. Hearing from umpire Richard Slater there. Disaster for INEOS.
We are a ley line committee. More of those, and we are coming up the number. To leeward is fine, I think. Okay. What's going on? We are 9 to kill pin. Hey, ready for the high mode here?
Killing 7. Skip it.
Hey, high mode now. Try my voice.
Come on. Come on, pin out. 5. Right wheel. Killing 4.
We are racing pin.
Build here.
We are racing pin.
Inside the last 30 seconds of the start of race 7. Penalty. Entering early for INEOS Britannia.
Actually, this is a position. Little chip on, guys. Just a quick.
Obviously,
yes.
Rocket started. Nice, lads. 8, 7, 6, 5. Working up. 4, all the way. 3. Hold. 2. 1.
All in.
We are go in race 11. Rossa, Prada, Pirelli, INEOS Britannia.
Low mode here. Go low. Let's try to base penalty with a low mode. So keep the speed here.
45 seconds still.
I think hammering on the next stack is going to be our game.
So the British with a penalty for entering early. They have to lose basically 75 metres relative to the Rossa, Prada, Pirelli here.
This is the umpires, GBR boundary penalty, GBR boundary penalty.
Starting fast.
A couple of unforced errors there for the British.
Come low. You've got the band, that's good. You've got 10 seconds to burn it.
Double.
Penalty clear, penalty clear.
INEOS Britannia and race 11.
Smash it, smash it, smash it. There we go. Yours still? Yeah, mine.
If they tag, we are 45 degrees, so we are not covering. But we are on a lefty phase, so I'm going to go straight.
Just over the entry line there early by the smallest margins there. The British pushing super hard. You just don't need to quite push that hard on entry, so a bit of an unforced error there. They'll be disappointed with that, followed up by a boundary penalty, so you're not going to win races with those unforced errors, unfortunately.
Nice enough, guys. Happy to push a smidge onto it, Dylan. Copy.
We just go straight at the moment.
Happy with this hill.
Let go to chase 0. Pete, that's a killer for INEOS Britannia.
We will be taking 2.
Oh, that was brutal. Just it's just the small meters, you know, slightly early for entry and then a boundary penalty, and those little errors, those, you know, there's only a metre in it, but it's just so costly when you get back into the match race. And Jimmy Spittle and Francesco Bruni just say, yep, thanks very much. We'll take that as our bread and butter, and they'll just be substantially in the lead at Mark 1.
Just some information there from our fantastic team behind the scenes, and at 36 knots of boat speed, the British were 2.4 metres over the entry line, so absolutely nothing in it. But really pushing too hard with something you don't need to push that hard with, to be honest.
They're excited. They're excited. It's a cruel blow, though. It's a cruel blow. Then you get the boundary penalty. Now let's see how they respond. How do INEOS and Britannia respond to double trouble at the start of race 11?
Having a look at their second penalty from the British here, Shirley, and as the boat's coming into the boundary there, and again just pushing it hard, and crikey's just over it. I mean, it's like tennis, the ball's either in or out, and you know, they've been out both times, so double.
A little soft out of this, maybe.
It's a shame they can't be like displays and scream at the umpire.
You certainly don't want to smash anything, for sure.
That's still
Do a
soft.
McIntyre.
I mean, those boundaries come pretty quickly.
No problem.
Actually calling attack to going, you've travelled a fair difference. It's not easy to gauge.
What do you think, 1 and in left? Yeah, I think so. My pressure looks even to me. To me as well. Little build for the attack, boys.
It sounds like a walk on the park.
.3.
I always remember in Auckland when we had the heart rate monitors, Jimmy's would be on about 80 and Francesco Bruni on 150. He's got ice in his veins, Jimmy Spindle.
Rossa from Pirelli heading into the top mark for the first time. They will take the right-hand mark as you see it. Head down on leg number 2 in race 11 of the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta here off the coast of Barcelona.
We got to follow him, huh? Yeah, okay, follow them. Yeah, okay, move it. Back down in 5, hands on the move.
That's Britannia, much following on a direct path of the trail of Luna Rossa.
100.
We've seen a bit of a change in the wind, a bit of a left shift, and it has gotten lighter, and we're expecting a big swing right to the left-hand side later on this evening, so maybe it's the start of that.
2, 1, 8. Heading. Fine, well. 2, 1. Going board.
8 to windward.
Anyone? Coming down.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, shortening the course to 1.75 nautical miles.
Jib.
Taking the forward here. Keep the ripping. Yeah, working out. What did you do? Down. Put a bit into the movement here. Coming down. Down to 9.9.
Beautiful flat water conditions for the AC 75 sailing here in Barcelona today. Tomorrow, my feeling is going to be a different look.
variety, maybe.
It's going to be interesting with a bit more seaway potentially.
I will focus on performance, Jimmy. Yeah, no worries.
That was a good goal by Francesco Bruni. I mean, really just worrying so much about the opposition, but getting the maximum out of these laps.
Okay, let's stay this side for now. Yes, really nice let down. Oh, yeah, that's best.
Yeah, definitely performance gains when you can just focus on the actual sailing of the boat and not concentrate so hard on the boat behind you. You definitely take a game there because you can concentrate 100% on just sailing the boat accurately and do its numbers. So
they have a really sort of special relationship, don't they, Jimmy Spindle and Francesco Bruni? Bruni just saying, like, concentrate on the numbers, stop worrying about the other stuff. But it's a relationship developed on years of sailing together at the highest level.
It certainly is, Shirley, and those relationships, like in any sailing team or any team environment, take time to develop, and the more time you can spend together doing that together, time and time again, you just get that relationship that really becomes powerful, particularly under pressure in the future.
Hey, building again. What's the speed?
Jimmy Spindle, 8th America's Cup. I guess it was 12 when he started.
Okay, at the bottom.
He might need to buy cows like me and have a rest. He's doing a great job, Jimmy. He's one of the sports greats and got a lot to offer, and obviously helping upskill the younger generation coming through. Such an important part of getting to your later years in life is being able to recognise talent on the way through, and Luna Rossa, Prada, Pirelli certainly doing a great job identifying talent coming through.
INEOS have done really well on this run. They've taken 50 metres out of the Italians.
I was a little late. Past the ley line, boys.
Have to keep positive heel from here, Kenko. I'm on your water. Going small function, it's big push here. Positive.
Luna Rossa, Prada, Pirelli down to the bottom 8 for the first time. They head up to the top to start thinking about that halfway mark, and they go around confidently. Given that bonus, double penalties for INEOS Britannia. One at the start is a boundary, but they're chasing, and they will chase hard. We've seen already they've got a good speed. Can they close down?
Okay, we're coming up now.
Luna Rossa, Prada, Pirelli.
Hey, back the boundary. Hey, mate's going on, boys. Hey, my trap. Got trap. Right, leeward heel. Yep.
Let's go on board the Luna Rossa chase boat to approach Philippe Preston. Another solid day today. Weren't actually pressed too hard in the start box. Philippe, how are you? Apologies for the lack of order coming off the Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli chase boat.
It's a good angle.
They're going to chase 0. Can you see the INEOS Britannia boat catching up at all, Pete?
I think 185, 187.
Pretty tough from they are there now. I did monitor that downwind, and I thought it was pretty even. Luna Rossa, at one stage it looked like INEOS had got into them a little bit, but when they got into the bottom muck approach, Luna Rossa took a little bit back. Luna Rossa's coming straight towards me now, and I'm right on the bow. It looks just superb in terms of their setup. The boat is very close to the water in terms of the end plate effect, and certainly Jimmy Biddle and Francesco Bruni are doing a pretty good job. And really, after that error in the start box for INEOS, it was just then a matter of saying, well, how close can we keep to Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli? They've got to work on to catch up.
A nice lefty here. Probably still bidding a click.
Some great shots there of Umberto Molinari.
I think if anything, the numbers are a little high for targets, okay, guys?
Yeah, I agree.
Or maybe drop one knot.
It just act.
Yeah, a little right. Actually happy to take this. Okay, stand by, boys. Going in 3, 2, 1.
This is Race Committee. We are moving the lure gate, shortening the course to 1.7 nautical miles.
Good angle.
The last 2 course changes have been less in length, Stephen, so he's dropping a little bit.
Next one.
The building too.
I think we
Let's get it past intersection and coming left. Quite light here, maybe a little bit flatter boat.
Definitely softer up the track.
Nice, very good speed. Transition to a bit more wind for the left. Right. Pressure is down here. There's something lifting away.
Glorious pictures coming off our galleys, showing you the vista that they sail in front of on the Mediterranean, that port of Barcelona in the background, and it's all business on INEOS Britannia. They'll be filthy with themselves. 2.4 metres over the entry box.
Our team have been listening to their onboards and not happy with attacking either. They're attacking from 33 knots to 25 minutes. It's not good enough then, is it?
One, holding that, 80%.
Yeah, it's a big speed drop, and if this breeze keeps dropping down over the next 10-15 minutes, we could actually be seeing ourselves get into some territory where the maneuvers become quite marginal, particularly attacking. So hopefully we won't see that. Hopefully the breeze will stay in.
He's to leeward of me. Let me do this.
Slight gain it would appear if you look at the meters between the 2 boats by INEOS Britannia on this upward leg. Slight gain, you can see it.
I think it's got lighter at that top end of the course. Conditions are definitely changing and becoming more and more unstable.
I just wonder if that plays into the window of INEOS Britannia and how it performs different there.
Only 8 to 9 knots of breeze now at the top end of the course, Stephen. So definitely we're seeing a drop in pressure. So it'll be interesting this next or 2.
Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli leading INEOS Britannia into the top gate to complete the halfway mark of race 11 in the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta here on the Mediterranean off the coast of Barcelona.
No reason to go slow here. Ouch.
comes INEOS Britannia. It appeared from what we saw they made a slight gain on that upwind leg and know that they are quick downwind. Let's see if Ben and Dylan put the foot to the floor.
2, 1. Head away, slow turn a bit. Nice. 30 seconds. No, hold it a little bit, yeah. Any on here. Okay, rolling away into a jibe here.
This is the committee. We are moving the windward gate, shortening the course to 1.6 nautical miles.
30 seconds. Cans moving.
Let's go to chase 0, Pete. How much is that wind softening up here?
38.
Yeah, well, mainly dropping in velocity. And what we're seeing now is the downwind angles have got tighter. We just noticed that jibe, and gee, they must. You could probably pick it up there, Glenn. Look like they jibe through nearly 90 degrees. So as it lightens, the boats actually have to sail a little bit sharper angle to keep their optimum speed.
Yeah, Pete, it's certainly the observation that we're getting here is that breeze is dropping, and seeing some still good performance of INEOS Britannia downwind. So it's, you know, you're only again one wobbly manoeuvre away from a pass. So really interesting to see the VMG on both boats there. Just a little better INEOS Britannia in general on downwind. So
It's better pressure.
really interesting to see how they towards the bottom.
Both teams would have made their sail section based on 12 to 14 knots, what we saw pre-start. How much of an effect is that to be on the smaller jib and have to search for power?
Definitely hard exiting manoeuvres with smaller jibs on for sure in the lighter air, and in a straight line you're still trying to get the power out, but it's exiting the manoeuvres that just is so difficult when you get to the very, very bottom range of both the mainsail and the jibs. So you can see there the power of that twin skin mainsail, huge mast rotation and camber in that mainsail now. And even the smaller jibs, really, really deep. So very, very minimal Cunningham, very, very short sections to really generate that horsepower out of the rig.
Even just watching that, a massive amount of adjustments. As you say, to the mast, to the traveller. There's a lot going on as the wind's drop now.
Still showing a little bit of gate bias on our side, on the left side.
Wind directions, I think the wing is still settling.
I agree with you. I think it's the most simple choice, and I don't see why not to go left gate. Just a little earlier on the jibe on the ley line, that's all.
Coming up, just visual, have a look.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, shortening course to 1.5 nautical miles.
So another change to the length of the course because of the wind softening, but that margin that Rossa Pirelli has on INEOS Britannia has actually lengthened the downwind leg, which means they are sailing that beautifully at the moment as they complete leg number 4, and they'll take that left-hand mark and head up the course for a final time.
Okay.
30 seconds.
Pressure straight on the nose.
Good left, nice lefty toes, no rush. I'm struggling with the jibes for some reason, it's got a bit weird. Yeah. Let's go. Okay, turning up here, 2, 1, turning up.
INEOS Britannia round the bottom mark, head up all leg number 5. Deficit's 28 seconds.
30 seconds. Breathe is in the left if we want to take it. Okay, stand by tag. 2, 1, port down. 2, 1, made. Turning. Farewell. 2, 1, aboard.
I'm thinking to hammer him on the next one.
Hearing the voice of Francesco Bruni there, son, thinking of hammering them on the next one. That's basically just tacking on top and actually forcing their dirty air to flow down the course right onto the rig of INEOS Britannia, and that's the job of the sailors to try and line that up. So you're pretty much putting them right in the exhaust fumes of the rig of your boat if you're leading.
As the wind is lighter as well, it's a greater effect, isn't it? It's so hard to escape.
Okay, we go to target.
Onto the chase boat of Luna Rossa by Pirelli. Hi, Philippe. Another good day for Luna Rossa, maybe helped out by the penalty box start that was a bit of a problem for INEOS.
Yeah, the starting is a very hard. You know, you have a racing square and you're guessing time based on the formation of the wind. And during the entry, the wind goes pretty much everywhere. It's easy to make such a mistake. Entering early is very important because you can put the pressure on the other boat. So I understand the mistake, and then the guys did a great job just settling in and deciding to start behind the INEOS and get a good control position from there.
It seems very calm on board Rossa, Prada, Pirelli. Would you agree with that?
I'm glad it's calm. It's a working progress. Every day we try to operate at that, you know, it's kind of a Jimmy hard right beat we try to match. And I think if you've got a loud boat, it's very hard to make decisions. It's very hard to understand each other. So we really try to work on the wording and tone. So we make good decisions.
How calm is Coach Presti?
Very calm.
All right. Grazie, mate. We'll talk to you again. Coach Philippe Presti on board chase boat for Rossa, Prada, Pirelli. That gap between the two is still sitting around 400 metres. The Italian team, they've controlled this race nicely.
It's bread and butter for the Italian team of Rossa, Prada, Pirelli at the moment. They're just literally going through the motions, sailing the boat well, keeping in touch with their opponent, and yeah, definitely another day at the office for those boys.
It's quite noticeable these Gen3 boats and how much the lighter at. They're not as affected as much as they were in Auckland. They just seem to keep rolling.
Definitely the light air performance much better with the weight reduction out of the boats now compared to in 2021, and the light air performance is really good.
Rossa, Prada, Pirelli for the final time at the top gate. Taking the left-hand mark as they see, right-hand as you see it on the screen.
And catch. Hey, 22nd. Good pressure here, guys. No rush. Yeah, no rush.
Good comms, no rush, which means not too much pressure coming from INEOS Britannia. They'll be feeling a little pressure because they're a bit dirty about getting into the start box early and getting that penalty, the boundary penalty as well. But they are around the top gate, heading home in race 11.
Okay, stand by here, my trap. Good trap. 2, 5. Down. 2, 1, 8. Time out.
Let's go to chase zero. We've talked a lot about INEOS Britannia today because we were so pumped that they got that first win. But what do you make of this performance by Rossa?
I think Rossa have had an edge. I've just been monitoring sort of deltas at the stop mark, and when they came up the last time it was 21 seconds. They're out to 29 seconds now. I think they're just making little incremental gains. Upwind for sure, but also on the downwind leg, Rossa, Prada, Pirelli have been matching INEOS, and INEOS Britannia are really probably the benchmark on the downwind leg, but there's plenty of pace on the Italian boat.
Has the wind stabilised?
At the top of the course, it's lighter than at the bottom. It certainly looks quite quite smooth and a bit sort of light at the top. Down at the bottom mark gate, down by the finish, it's probably a knot or maybe 2 knots breeze down there in terms of wind speed.
Coming left now here. No pressure all the way yet.
Final leg here, not a whole lot INEOS Britannia can do, barring a unforced error from Rossa, Prada, Pirelli. Surely, sort of not much you can do. You're just sort of looking at your opponent sailing down there toward you, hoping that they make a mistake. But I don't think Rossa are sailing the boat badly there. It's pretty hard there to make a game from here.
It's also about information gathering, isn't it? And remember, this is only day 3 of us actually seeing these boats race in anger. So much to learn, all the teams.
Practice you for left. Just give me one round up.
Luna Rossa, Prada, Pirelli and the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta will come across the line and bank win number 3 and give them 3 points to equal Emirates Team New Zealand, who are up next against Alinghi Red Bull Racing. But they'll be feeling good about that. Are they heading towards the final of the Prelim Regatta?
Nice work, boys. Away from the course. Probably on the left side of the course.
Anytime.
I think there is another race after us.
2, 1, and down. 1, mate. That's fine. 2, 1,
INEOS Britannia, they go 1-0 today. Most importantly for the confidence of their sail team, their shore team, the whole organisation. They got that win. They started so beautifully earlier on today against Alinghi Red Bull Racing, but they'll cross the line to compete race number 11 in this Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta.
Push up. Potentially need to let me get a little bit of Travis. I don't know on that. It's tricky. On the main on. Because I'm jib car all the way down. Yeah, copy that.
Confirmation now of race 11 in the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta. Luna Rossa, Prada, Pirelli get the win. Win number 3. It's by 46 seconds over INEOS Britannia. So where does that all stack up? Well, it stacks up that now Luna Rossa and Emirates Team New Zealand are now 3 points. Emirates Team New Zealand 3 from 3, and Luna Rossa 3 from 4. So where does that leave everybody else? Well, it's looking at a day and a bit of racing to go. Stay with us.
Well, this race was nearly won and lost before they'd even got in. INEOS crossing that imaginary line, that entry line, by the smallest of margins. Well, INEOS made a great start here, but obviously had to drop back and to take that penalty. That's 75 metres. For Luna Rossa, just keeping it clean. Leg 1 also saw another infringement by the British outfit, leaving them trailing, and the gap got bigger and bigger. By leg 5, it was a big margin. Luna Rossa win the race.
On board Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, congratulations, Francesco. A nice, tidy win today.
Yeah, we are super happy. Obviously, it was not very easy because we were not sure about which jib to put up. Luckily, one of our coaches, Hamish nailed the call, and we sailed with a little bigger jib. We all thought he was wrong, but he was right. The wind was whipping, and it was very good to have that jib up.
Francesco, Glenn here. Sounds like you guys might be filling up the beer fridge, Hamish, tonight. It definitely the breeze was dropping, so he'll be happy.
We have to be careful with we have to be careful with beers with that guy. He likes to drink.
Nice, mate.
All right, appreciate your time, Francesco. We'll talk again. Let's go on board INEOS Britannia. Dylan Fletcher. It must be just tough that early entry into the start box.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough pill to swallow. We thought we were safe on it, but obviously didn't give it enough.
Dylan, how hard is it to judge? I mean, you're going so quickly, and it's the finest of margins. How tough is that?
Yeah, it is tough, but we've got our tactical aid, and we thought we were safe on it with some time in the bag, but sort of jumped at the end, and I can't imagine we were over by very much. But, you know, after that, I think we were quite happy with the start to beat the Italians from that point, and then it was just obviously tough from there with being on the wrong jib and that early penalty.
Thanks for your time, mate. Got the win today. That builds confidence. Talk again.
Cheers, guys.
So, to win the America's Cup, you've got to think outside the box. 4 years ago, Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli introduced twin helming to the world. Jimmy Spittle, Francesco Bru have more experience than anyone, and it shows on the leaderboard. They're the wise old heads of twin helming, but they're not afraid to hand the controls to the next generation.
I had the privilege to sail the last America's Cup with Jimmy. We made that new way of sailing. We made it work, and we feel quite proud that we've been the first couple who made that happen. Couple, that sounds good.
Stand by for a better way, guys. 3, 2, 1, bearing away.
There were people questioning, is that the right thing to do? You're gonna helm for 50% of the time. You won't be as good as all the other guys, blah, blah, blah. But the more we were trying different kind of playbooks, the more we knew that that was the right thing to do.
The twin helm setup is great because you can maneuver, in a split second. 2, 1, pull it down.
That's turning.
Well, the first benefit is that you don't have to run across before or after a maneuver, which is a very critical time for the boat.
My wheel! Get your roll. My roll!
Having one guy or 2 guys running across the boat is not ideal. That's really the big gain.
I mean, I've always come from a team background where I've always had full trust in all of my teammates, irrespective of whether they're driving the boat or not. So at the end of the day, we're going to put the best combination out there that we believe will give us our best shot at winning this thing. So we've got essentially 4 drivers at Luna, Rossa, Prada, Pirelli. We've got Ruggiero Tita, Marco Gradoni, myself, and Keko Bruni. Clearly, Kel and I, we did the last campaign together.
Fantastico! È bellissimo!
Yeah, we just built a great relationship. We've got a lot of racing together. But the young guns that are coming up are very, very good. And I mean, the talent that Italy has, I think, is some of the best in the world.
3, 1, 2, 1, go down.
It's been amazing to have Marco and Ruggero on my side. I know they are ready for sailing on the big boat, so I need to do my best to keep my spot. It's as simple as that. You have those guys pushing behind and you need to do more than your maximum.
They have done it again and crossed the finish line here.
You need to really work together very well. And it happened with Jimmy, and I'm very grateful that we made it happen. There were some very good moments in Auckland, and I can still remember them. I still feel it on my skin, and I want to have more of those moments in Barcelona.
Race number 12, Emirates Team New Zealand, Alinghi, Red Bull Racing.
I'm not alone in thinking the defenders look fast and tidy in the ring. The addition of driver Nathan Outridge to Pete Burling's tight unit has eroded any doubts about their starting prowess. Trimming regulars are Maloney and Tucken, pushing out the wattage, the impressive Webster, Alan Crosby, and making his debut in this edition, Louis Sinclair.
Back to the big league of the America's Cup again here in AC37. Will Alinghi Red Bull Racing be able to ring the bell again in today's race, this time against the defenders? Maxime Bachelin and Anno Sarafagas are driving the bus. Nicholas Rollas and Brian Metro trimming. Barnamy Delzar, Drescher, Nico Stahlberg and Niels Thunik are on the cycling pedals for today's race.
This is the race committee. We have passed the wind test and this race is live.
We are good to go. Race 12, the last of the day on the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta. Emirates Team New Zealand, top of your screen. Burling to the left, Nathan Outridge to the right. Arno Safagis and Maxime Bachelon, the man steering. Alinghi Red Bull Racing around this magnificent racetrack. Glorious conditions, high humidity too, which sometimes we forget about, but we're 20 seconds away from the poultry. That will be the defender of the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. And with their Taihoro, Emirates Team New Zealand. Let's see what their time on distance is like. Looks pretty sharp. Now it's the turn of Alinghi Red Bull Racing. They're allowed here at 2 minutes. They will not be getting an early entry penalty here. They'll come in a little bit late, but they'll come steaming in. Time to get it on again.
Tidy entries for both teams. Lighter conditions so important just to keep the pace on, keep the boat on the foils.
Really, really important to keep the boat on the foils in these conditions. A little lighter than yesterday's racing, so a lot of pressure on the teams.
They're leading it down. 40. 20. 40 pistol. Midway down. 28. Down now. 20. Jump.
They're right in the corner, the final turn as they head towards the start line.
They really have to make sure they accelerate here. Emirates New Zealand getting close to getting them hooked. Just keeping clear there, Alinghi. Pressure still well and truly on Emirates Team New Zealand, pushing them hard.
And Rossa fast doing well there just to keep clear, not to engage.
Have a little charge if you want. 3.
It was slightly early, both teams.
Really slow, guys.
10 seconds to the start line.
6.
Split started race number 12. Game on between Alinghi Red Bull Racing and Emirates Team New Zealand.
Hats off to Alinghi Red Bull Racing there. Really lovely job in that restart. Actually, time on distance, putting the pressure on Emirates Team New Zealand, forcing them to do a split start.
Emirates Team New Zealand were slow, weren't they, in the last 20 seconds? Forced off to the right-hand side. Hats off to Arno Sarfagas.
On to chase 0. Peter, interesting start.
First split tack start was seen here, and it was advantage to Alinghi off the line. New Zealand went over to the beach side, and I thought they just showed they have good pace. I think this intersection looks like it's advantage to the team coming over from the beach. That'll be Emirates Team New Zealand, but a very good start by Alinghi. New Zealand look to have good pace and good angle coming over from the right.
Just one behind.
Close cross here.
Next time, check the lead out. You can do it. 3, 2, 1, and pull.
And attacking now. 2. We can save you. No, we cannot. 3.
Absolutely perfect place to attack there from Emirates Team New Zealand, forcing Alinghi Red Bull Racing to actually have to tack away and clear air. There was no way, surely, they were going to live there off the Emirates Team New Zealand, so that they bailed early to keep the game alive.
So it's only taken really half the first leg for Emirates Team New Zealand to start really putting pressure on Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Peter?
Best VMG pick.
I reckon what the game is here is the New Zealanders will try and make Alinghi do one extra tack, and that's why they'll come back quite short on their hip, forcing Alinghi out to this left-hand lay line. When they come back, New Zealand will face them again. So this is about forcing the trailing boat to do an extra tack.
You don't want to be doing manoeuvres. I mean, big losses in attacks now. New Zealand went from 34 knots to 26. Big speed loss.
An 8-knot drop in speed, fairly typical in these conditions. It is a big penalty every manoeuvre. You've got to re-accelerate.
Focus on our motor.
Emirates Team New Zealand just giving Alinghi Red Bull Racing no wiggle room to squirm out there. They're just going to keep coming back, and they'll just keep herding them over to the left-hand side of the course, then ultimately just make them sit at gas on the long one back to the top mark. So the pain is yet to come.
Going there. So 2, 1.
Allez, boss. Strong, guys. Keep pushing, guys.
I'd say New Zealand are executing these tacks slightly better. With the tack, there's just a slow bleed, isn't there? You're just dropping meter by meter.
Twist it up here. So,
really threading the eye of the needle. Alinghi Red Bull Racing, not much they can do at the moment except just keep in touch, keep sailing the boat well, rely on your pace, do all the simple things well.
A bit more even now. I'm trying to lift it, so I'm happy with that. Really
Emirates Team New Zealand at the moment. At this point, it's a small lead, but you feel like they've got Alinghi Red Bull Racing somewhat of vice on that first leg. They will be first to round the top mark for the opening gambit and race number 12, the final race of the day here at the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta on the Mediterranean.
3, 2, 1, here we go. I'll follow, just to make the most of the shift.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing, though, they're not up. If you remember their race earlier today against Britannia, they hung in there. They will not go away.
Quite a big drop pressure. We're seeing 7 or 8 knots at the top marks. I think 6.5 knots is the limit for AC75 racing. Have you had a look at are they on the same jib, Glenn? What can you see?
Yeah, very, very similar sail plans, both teams, and they'll be really setting the boat up for sort of max power exiting the manoeuvres. The funny thing is, the lighter the wind, the more oil movement you use. So the cyclists actually have to work harder in these lighter conditions a lot of the time when it's actually sort of nice and steady 11, 12 knots. So the lighter it is, often the harder it gets for the guys pedaling, because you are just going through such big camber ranges with the sails.
I mean, that was a lovely shot. We saw the mainsail, didn't we? Tiny movements back and forward in the
Very
drop.
much on it in. So we should probably hit thanks, righty. That's righty. Yeah, I'd agree. Off on the left there.
Remember, this team is the benchmark, the defender. And actually for Alinghi Red Bull Racing, lots to be positive about within this race. They are hanging in there.
On chase 0, Peter, Emirates Team New Zealand, just doing it by the numbers.
Yeah, they look impressive. When we just went round behind Emirates Team New Zealand, they're carrying quite a lot of windward heel, and no, they just look so powered up. And the other point, I think, is where they're making the big gains in their manoeuvres. They seem to be able to come out of the manoeuvres, get back up to target speed and angle quicker than Alinghi.
All the way, man. Yep. Thanks to kids, boys.
Windward heel, Glenn, why is that so powerful as additions are lighter?
Got it, mate. Yep.
Yeah, generally, when it's a little lighter, you run the cant of the board further under the boat, so you actually try to reduce the riding moment slightly and actually gain efficiency. So a little bit of windward heel is actually just getting the platform a little lower to the water and actually getting that aerodynamic seal, that imaginary seal from the rig down to the water a little closer. So trying to get the platform as low as you can as often as you can.
What's it look like up there, Andy? Did you go all the way? Yeah, looking there, you would. Just get the clean air above their line, right? Yeah.
It's such great comms, isn't it, on Team New Zealand? Such trust between all of them.
It does look thicky on the right.
Emirates Team New Zealand about to complete leg number 2 of 6 in this 12th race of the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta here in Barcelona. Smoothly around the mark they go. Head upwind again. Cool, calm, collected, the defenders of the 37th America's Cup. I'll remind you again, though, this is all about the long game, particularly for wannabe challengers like Alinghi Red Bull Racing. All about learning and gathering data and how much they can learn. They round the left-hand mark, as we said, head up and on leg number 3, which will mark the halfway point. Let's go on to chase boat for Emirates Team New Zealand. And Ray Davies is standing by. Nice start, cool and calm, Ray.
Yeah, it's a great start. No, really good. You know, coming off the line, it's pretty much even, but with the power of the ride and up to speed and rumbling and going the way the guys wanted to go. So, couldn't ask for more than that.
Ray, conditions look to have changed a bit. Seems really unstable. What do you think?
I think it's going to
Certainly it's eased off a bit from those earlier races, but the breeze is hanging there, you know, sort of 9 to 11 knots, easing back to 8.5 at times. So yeah, it's tricky out here when it's soft and it gets a bit patchy. A little puff in these boats and this wind speed makes a huge difference.
How much do you learn about the boat in different wind conditions and where maybe its sweet spot is?
Oh no, we learn a lot all the time every time we go out, but it's really good to actually have some numbers on the course and see lap times and actually have a competitor out there pushing us. So, you know, you get a lot more out of it from the racing and the boat handling and the pre-start and just the team even building up to the start and having, you know, that all goes smoothly as well under pressure to a fixed time of a race start. So, you know, it puts the whole team under pressure, which is perfect, what we're here for.
Thanks for your time, buddy. Talk again.
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate, shifting the axis to 186 and shortening to 1.45 nautical miles.
Wow, that wind's not dying away, but it's softening really quickly.
Lots of course adjustment, in part because there is a target time, isn't it? 23 minutes. Also because can move the mark so quickly and so efficiently. They're not attached to the seabed. They are electric, autonomous, controlled by GPS.
It's amazing how the technology has changed so much, not just on the boats, but the whole infrastructure of a yacht race. It's fascinating. I took some photos and sent them home to my friends, and they were going, "What are those?" I'm saying, "Oh, they're the autonomous marks, the boundary markers, keep the fans away." And they're going, "Really?" Really?
Yeah, no excuse for a bad course these days, and Ian Murray and Mel Roberts do a brilliant job in keeping the course square and true and on time, and to have that at their fingertips is pretty incredible, and obviously that's what the sailors want. They want it, of course, as do the teams, so makes it really...
It looks to be more up here, so happy all the way today.
Quite a lot more speed with the New Zealand team, whether there's more pressure perhaps on that right-hand side.
I think we've seen that, just that general better pressure on that right-hand side, surely for you know, almost 2 days now. So it'll be interesting tomorrow if we do have a different wind direction and a different sea state, you know, what the teams will do, what the favoured side of the course will be. But as we saw and heard from Ray Davies, their coach on Emirates Team New Zealand, Chase, you know, the guys, the team's plan was to try and get out to that right-hand side of the course as quickly as they could, and sort of forcing Alinghi to the left and then having the option to tack out to the right. They took that initial gain as they hit the right-hand side of the course.
Just about to complete the halfway stage of race number 12 here in Barcelona, and as defender, Emirates Team New Zealand well in control of this race, but you always say well in control with a question mark. You never can know what could go on. Think what happened today with American Magic. They had a gear failure, is what we understand. We had an incredible bang early in the race. Well, right at the beginning, and they had to pull out of the start box. Emirates Team New Zealand around and complete the halfway stage of race 12.
You want to go? I think so, just for the gas there.
Talking a lot about the dirty air, the confused air from the other boat. And it lingers, doesn't it? It's off to the breeze. It's just so lazy. It's not making its way anywhere.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing come to the top gate to complete the halfway stage for themselves. They will take the right-hand mark as they see it, left-hand as you see it, on whatever screen you're looking at, big, small, or otherwise around the world.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, shifting the axis to 184 and shortening to 1.4 nautical miles.
Another course change there. Breeze just getting a little softer and a little wobblier, so...
Don't be afraid to go over numbers.
The challenge, Pete, on Chase Zero gets just a little bit harder for both these teams. That wind softening.
Looking back through pistol. Maybe so, mate. It's more even than the last.
Probably the bottom end of the range, and really it's a slow bead that It's just they seem more comfortable in this condition than Alinghi. Just looking at the boats, it just you see that slightly windward heel, and they just look fully powered up. Although it's only about 8 knots. For Alinghi, they can just look down at the New Zealanders, think, hey, what are they doing? What can?
Lifting quite a lot here. That's good.
They're still in sort of 7 or 8 knots of breeze. Both boats doing 34 to 36 knots of boat speed. So, you know,
yeah,
you're
shake your head again.
You're on any other boat there, and you're drifting down and doing
3.
4. Yeah, 3. I was going to give it 4, but you have a 3. Yeah, no, depending on what you've got in your hand. Yeah, you certainly get downwind quick, even slight breeze with these boats. The light air performance is pretty incredible.
You know, we look at the lead now, and it's starting to sort of eke itself a little bit. But if you go back at start, they were the first time we've seen this regatta. Emirates New Zealand were put under pressure.
They were, and I think Alinghi did a really great job there in engaging and sailing their boat really well. So, you know, although Emirates Team New Zealand are strutting away here, they'll take great confidence in what they've done.
Emirates Team New Zealand looking good in race 12 here in Barcelona. Pressured at the start. There was a good pressure coming from Alinghi Red Bull Racing, but then they just squeezed in the first half of that upwind leg. And this is the result. Taking the right-hand marker and heading up on leg 5 of 6.
Go on, so they pass Lucia, really. We can cut across here, so I can see. Okay, here, I think we should. 3.
Fantastic shot there of Emirates Team New Zealand. That's a textbook tack. If you can pull them off like that in sort of light air, that's what you're trying to achieve. You see the adjustments of the sails there.
I just got a little more kind of.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing now coming into complete leg number 4.
Nice lift phase. Looks pretty good in front.
Late job, and they'll take that right-hand mark as well. It's gone to the chase boat of Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Petro Spello joins us again. Petro, let's just come right back to the start. Hell of a start, wasn't it? A lot of good pressure, and then just now it's a game of us working things out, gaining data.
Yeah, I think the guys did an amazing job today in the starts, really pushing and keeping close and tight with the other boat. They decided to lead in this lighter breeze, pushing Team New Zealand to deck and go into a port stack. Unfortunately, yeah, we were a bit under ley line on pin and a bit slow, but still happy about starting today.
Yeah, Petro, there was no sign of intimidation, was there? They were so confident in that pre-start, you know. How reassuring is that?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the really positive point of today, and it was also the goal to make sure we learn the most we can next week about the starting, and we are really getting there.
Thanks for your time, Petro.
Thanks, guys.
This is the race committee. We are moving the finish line, shifting the axis to 180 and shortening the length to 1.3 nautical miles.
So just a little bit more pressure on these boats to keep them going, shortening that course. But this is the second to last leg of this race. Emirates Team New Zealand well ahead of Alinghi Red Bull Racing, and they're still honking up at around 30 knots. So it's still biggest belief that the technology to get these 7-ton monsters and low wind speeds just doing what they're doing.
You can see on the water there's not a whole lot of breeze on the water, but you see how fast the boat's actually going into the breeze, heading upwind, sort of tacking through roughly 90 degrees, sort of 45 degrees from dead upwind is roughly what the boats are sailing in these conditions. So fantastic shots here of the boats.
I am sure there are people who are not sailing, people looking at that going, how does that work? But we're not going to go into that again.
Save our powder for another day.
Yes, I know. That's a deep hole you can dive down and spend a lot of time in.
It is just, it personifies efficiency. It is so cool. And I can't help but look at it and think of its architect, Dan Bernasconi, with Team New Zealand, who's head of design, and he had a vision.
A lot of fantastic people working alongside Dan to you know, come up with all the systems, the sail, the rigging, the internals of these boats, and a really, really solid team behind the scenes.
Emirates Team New Zealand at the top gate for the last time. They'll take the left-hand markers, use it and head on down. All things being equal, they will record their 4th win and a perfect record for this preliminary regatta here in Barcelona. And they will have their nose over the line into the final.
Pretty dominant performance from Emirates Team New Zealand over Alinghi Red Bull Racing there. It's obviously the breeze is getting lighter and lighter, and really, really hard to sort of punch through that dirty air. Surely it's getting chopped up on the course. It lingers around like a bad smell, that dirty air. So you want to try and put the pig on the nose and try and keep away from it if you can.
Final tank heading into the top mark for Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Still sitting at around 25 miles, pretty hard upwind, but they're still cranking along to get that beautiful AC-75 to do its job. Head towards the left-hand mark. Right for them on the boat. There they go. Heading home on a Saturday in Barcelona.
The valves working hard there, controlling the traveller of the yacht, sort of pulsating valves there, really, really giving accurate control for the trimmers to position that traveller exactly where you need it. So super important. The control of the sails and millimetre control is what you're doing, always adjusting all the time. It's not just the traveller, it's the clue positioning, the Cunninghams, the jib Cunningham. A lot of boats running under deck systems that you can't even see, but really, really important to have that accuracy of control.
I mean, Alinghi has a legacy within the Cup, but this team, the sailors, are young. They have had a lot to learn, haven't they, in a short period of time? I mean, just how steep is that hill?
Certainly a steep one, but they're doing a great job, and they'll be around pushing hard over the races for sure in the coming weeks.
So on a day when the wind has just tailed off at the end of it, Emirates Team New Zealand, the defender of the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup, have done pretty much a job, a flawless job on Alinghi Red Bull Racing. They will go into Sunday with a perfect record. They are 4 from 4. Calm and collected. Not too much emotion, just another race done, and done well. Yeah, look at that. The Kiwis come out. Now, soft Kiwi toy. Cannot do much better than that if you're a supporter of Emirates Team New Zealand. That's not a bad place to watch either. Mind you, if you want the real close-up action, just watch it wherever you are around the world, on your small screen, your big screen, your laptop, or whatever, because we are bringing you pictures that are just glorious every time we head out on the water. Alinghi Red Bull Racing come home to complete race number 12 of the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta. They tried to push it start, but they just couldn't keep up.
Nice pull, guys.
They will remain with 1 win in this preliminary regatta. Confirmation, a perfect 4 from 4 for Emirates Team New Zealand against Alinghi Red Bull Racing. That delta at the end, 1 minute and 15 seconds. So confirmation of where it all stacks up. Lots of green men, you've been good. Lots of red men, you've been doing it tough. And right at the top with 4 points leading the team, Emirates Team New Zealand.
We had a great tussle at the start and really confident racing by Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
6 for the pin.
Managing to avoid the hook.
They're doing a really good job there, Alinghi Red Bull Racing, to really put the pressure on Emirates Team New Zealand. But as we heard from Coach Ray Davies and the team, the right-hand side was what they were after. Pretty much even start, first split start surely we've seen.
We love a split start, don't we, in the America's Cup? Nicely done by Alinghi Red Bull Racing. This downwind leg, though, Emirates Team New Zealand extending as the conditions got trickier and lighter. Just seemed to get better and better. Winning by over a kilometre from the 16.
So let's go on board Emirates Team New Zealand. Peter Burling, a little bit of pressure in the start box today. You would have appreciated that.
Yeah, it was a good bit of fun. We really wanted the ride, and then when they jumped us in early, we thought we'd take on the split. Hadn't seen one yet this event, so yeah, it's good to get one under our belt, and seemed to work out all right.
Pete, how satisfying the boat performance as the air got lighter?
Yeah, I mean, we're really happy with that performance across the range. It's really, I think, a lot about actually understanding how to sail the boat, or how to use your equipment well, and we're still learning a lot about that, but yeah, really happy in those conditions. We haven't actually seen that light air for a little while, so it was a little bit of just switch back in up that speed, and yeah, we're really happy with the way we did.
Hi Pete, it's Lenny. The jib call before the race today, that was obviously a bit of a tricky one with sort of the potential of the breeze dropping a little bit. That would have been a little bit of fever there for a bit.
Yeah, it's pretty relaxed on our boat to go the 3, and we love the 3 downrange, Lenny, you know that. But, yeah, no, we're really happy with the sails here. The boat's got so efficient, you can put small cut up pretty early, and yeah, we saw 7 knots one stage in that race, so probably getting a bit under it, but all good fun.
Nice job, Pete. Appreciate your time. Let's go to Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Arno Sarafogis. Arno, let's talk about the start. Great to see you put pressure on the defender.
Yeah, it was a great start. We said we're just gonna try different things, and it was a pretty good battle. We just got out of the line a little slower compared to Team New Zealand, but then we tried to make our way, but they did defend really well the left and the right hand side and the first bit, and then from there it was pretty tricky to find lane, but we just tried to get as much performance out of our boat and sail our course, and yeah, it's a really good learning today for us, and we're great to sail against Team New Zealand.
I know it's never going to be easy against the defender, but you know, how pleased are you with the performance, and what are your takeaways from today?
Well, there is many takeaways at every race, against everyone, and it was good to sail against New Zealand, and now we know what they have, and they're really aggressive on the pre-start, which was really good fun for us to do that with them, and we're looking forward for next week.
Thanks, Arno. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, well, this was the key when we love a split tack. Coming together, Emirates Team New Zealand just ahead and able to get in a beautiful tack. Great positioning here, wasn't it, Glenn? And from there, it was hard for Alinghi to stay out of the bad air.
So it's a time to crush the numbers and just look at the relative performances of both these teams.
Yeah, we can see there basically Emirates Team New Zealand just a couple of knots faster on the average speed around the track, and really that sort of turned into the delta there at the finish line. So not sure if that's a sign of things to come or not, but Alinghi's certainly doing a great job, you know, in that pre-start, and they'll take a lot of takeaways today from today's performance. Distance sail pretty similar from both teams. In actual fact, Emirates Team New Zealand saying a little further distance, but the average VMG, just a little bit higher there for Emirates Team New Zealand, and just a couple more jibes there from the Swiss, but all up the manoeuvres fairly similar.
So let's take you off the water. There's Grant Dalton, CEO of Emirates Team New Zealand. A few principals have overseen more disruption in the America's Cup than that man right there. He's taken his organisation from the brink of collapse to the brink of history. Now defenders are gunning for another historic first.
I never had any love affair with the America's Cup. I hated it. My world was around the world racing. And then in 2003, Team New Zealand lost the America's Cup. It wasn't that they lost badly. They lay down. It was shocking.
What a shame, Peter.
And then Trevor Mallard, who was then Minister of Sport, he rang me and he said, the government believes that having the cup is good for the country. We need to try and get back. Will you do it? I remember saying to him, yeah, fine, but I come in, I sack everybody, and we're starting from scratch. You've got to be prepared to make hard decisions.
To all our supporters here and in New Zealand, absolutely brilliant. We love you. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Sum up the Emirates Team New Zealand journey. Well, it's been up and down.
Is this the end of an era?
The team's got very close to the shutting of the doors a number of times. It got really close a week after I took over in 2003. There was not only no money, there was debt. We should have won it in 13. Pretty brutal.
The view from on board Emirates Team New Zealand's director, Grant Dalton.
We said that's it. We're closing, we're insolvent now, we've got to go. So we were within, say, 7 hours of closing. And I made a couple of phone calls. I rang Pirelli and he offered to help. And then
We now present the America's Cup to Emirates Team New Zealand!
I'm not the smartest guy in the room, right? I never have been, never will be. But I'll outwork you. I run pretty much a siege mentality. If you're not with us, you try to beat us. Therefore, we're against you.
Grant Dalton, what a tough guy. I wonder what's in store for Grant.
I do see competition everywhere. The Cup teaches you that a little bit. We don't have a different mindset a challenger would have, trying to win each race, not just be heroes at the end. One of the mistakes that is often made with winning teams is they're not hard enough on themselves. In 2021, we won ugly, and we were really hard on ourselves because complacency was absolutely the thing that was going to creep in. So I think that the lessons of winning is to make sure that you're brutal enough to try and keep winning. If I was to try and sum it up in one word, it would be culture. You got culture. It can take quite a long time to build that, but I think people like working for Team New Zealand. It has a meaning, it has a sense, it has some history. It's Man United, if you like. It's a team with personality and historic value now as a brand, so I think that helps a lot. A lot of the teams try to mimic the culture of Team New Zealand. I think, let's see whether they have this time. The thing I love the most about the Cup is the people. But physics is the Cup. The Cup is physics. So if I was to put one thing on the Cup that I love, it's the creation of the boats, which you then try to turn into speed. People expect us to innovate. So we're expected to do things that other people don't do. I like what we've done in terms of the foiling monohull. I think universally the teams like these boats. And you can't go back to clunky old boats that don't foil. I mean, who the hell wants one of those? So we have made our mark. Win, lose, boats abandoned or not, it's there forever now and it will always be remembered. But I see it also as part of the Team New Zealand legacy. We are responsible for the pinnacle of the sport. For the television to be right, for the boats to look good, for spectators to come, make sure the teams want to be involved. This is top of the game and it's our responsibility to make sure all those aspects are looked after properly. We take it seriously. Every challenger wants to be the defender, so this is not going to be easy. So yeah, I'm worried. If I wasn't worried, we wouldn't be sharp. But my confidence in this campaign is high. I always believe the guys can give us a fast boat because they're good at doing that. This time I have a lot of confidence in the yachtsmen as well. I think as a unit they're combining really well, they're sailing well, they're communicating, they're working hard. Nobody has ever won it 3 times in a row, the same team. To me that's significant. There's no doubt that Emirates Team New Zealand is one of the best America's Cup teams in history, but that would stamp it 100% as the best ever.
Traction behind on 90.
Grant Dalton, a man with a winner's mentality. Time to wrap the day here in Barcelona. Let's quickly go on to the water with Pete Lett and Chase Sarah. Pete, what did you make of the day? What's it out?
Oh, I think best day's racing. I was impressed by INEOS. They created a lead change. They had really good downward speed. Reliability reared its ugly head again with USA, but I'll get over that. And really, speed is the friend of Emirates Team New Zealand.
Yeah, really interesting day. Obviously, a little bit lighter breeze at the end, but interesting to see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, promising day from the British outfit and also from Alinghi Red Bull Racing. They'll be positive at the end of the day.
It's been a big old day, and we've still got tomorrow, and that's called Finals Day of the coast of Barcelona. But what a day it's been. We've seen all sorts of things go on here on our race course, and even start box, we saw plenty as well. INEOS Britannia got their first win, and they were looking so strong, and they are strong. We've seen the fast boat that's promised so much, and we got to see it in their wing. And then bang, there, that loud bang at the back end. Rudder issues for American Magic in the start box. Looked like it wanted to take off like an aeroplane. They are flying boats, not this time, but we got to see a little bit of Orient Express racing, up and racing, showing the speed that they have. Then Rossa, Prada, Pirelli, they were just slick. And they are going to be a real handful for a lot of teams when we get into that Challenger Selection Series. But there's the Defender that everybody's got to think about, because they will be playing with them as well in that Challenger Selection Series. Gee, it just looks so good watching all these AC 75s at speed. So much to look forward to tomorrow. Another crack day on the mid, and beautiful conditions, although soften somewhat. So the standings look like this going into the final day of racing in this Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta. It's 4 from 4 from Emirates Team New Zealand. And the Italians are right up their pipe. Tomorrow, though, could be an interesting day. What does tomorrow look like race-wise? This is what you got. Soak it up and get ready for some more. There have been some amazing races so far, and they're only going to get better as we continue here. The city of Barcelona is turning it on. This is Barcelona. Glorious conditions, a wonderful city just to get around on. I think that's what our whole crew is discovering, that they really are embracing the 37th America's Cup. And they are loving where they can watch it from. Barcelona at the beach, Bogatel, the Playa del Mar, it's all on. As the automated marks go back in, we will see you tomorrow for more racing of the America's Cup.